Hi there, and welcome to Module 3, Week 3, which is all about cellular anatomy and physiology, or what cells look like and what they do. Due to the content this week, I'm going to run things a little bit differently. So in this video, I'm going to take you through this week's assignments and explain a little bit more about why we're doing them, and then we will go from there. So here we go. This week you're going to be spending a lot of time doing hands-on activities, and so with concepts as abstract as cellular structures and functions, I think it's really helpful for you to be able to kind of literally get your hands on what you're learning about. So you'll see a host of activities this week that are really going to get you a little bit more involved with the material. Alright, so some of the videos that I selected for you this week are actually put together by a man named Paul Anderson from Bozeman Science. He's got some great videos, and this week I picked for you his A Tour of the Cell, which is right here, and then scrolling down in our video section there is another one that he's done called Enzymes. And so the first video relates to Chapter 4 and his second video relates to Chapter 5. If you scroll down a little bit farther, you will see this video right now. I'm going to embed it after I record it here. So after those introductory videos, what I want you to do next is grab your textbook and go to page 65. Start there, and you're going to go to page 102, which is the end of Chapter 5. And I always write notes for you in this section, the reading section, for you to annotate your notes. And what that means is that you take notes on what you're reading in your textbook. So, you know, right here when I say answer the concept application questions within the reading, if I don't know what this phrase concept application questions means, maybe right here I would go in and annotate, you know, look up this phrase. So that's just a quick example of some simple annotations. As a great checkpoint for you before you start this week's other assignments, I've devised a simple quiz for you. It's just 5 points, and it covers chapters 4 and 5. So after you've watched the videos and done the reading, this will kind of give you a little check-in as to how you're doing so far, and maybe there's going to be some things that you discover through taking the quiz that you want to spend a little bit more time on before you move forward. And as always, you're going to get 2 attempts on this quiz. Alright, so by this point, you are going to be ready to do something called cell analogies. And sometimes when you're learning those really abstract concepts, unless you can connect them to something physical, something tangible, they might just exist out in the ether and kind of blow away in your mind and never really become solidified. So I've devised this assignment where you're going to take the cell components right here in this list, and you're going to attach them to some analogies. So for example, I want you to kind of think of a cell as, you know, like a bustling city. There's the post office, which delivers things. There's, you know, the farmer's market where you can buy fresh vegetables. And so that might be like, you know, the chloroplast that photosynthesizes. So the city analogy, or, you know, the analogy of a team working together would be some great examples for you to think about as you get started with this assignment. It's worth 5 points, and it's going to be due Wednesday night, right before midnight. Alright, before you get to the next assignment, which is a phospholipid bilayer cell membrane model, as an optional choice, you could actually take some household materials and, you know, make a cell model. It's not a required assignment, but if you're a visual learner and you like getting your hands on things, that would be a great way to kind of learn or review cellular components before you start this assignment. So the phospholipid bilayer model is a project in which you're going to reflect these cell membrane materials right here using some simple supplies that you have at home. And I would suggest like pastas and cereals and beads and yarn and stuff like that. So you're actually going to build a model. It doesn't have to be a working model. It can be static of the cell membrane. So it can either be 2D using pen and paper or 3D using actual materials from your drawers. It is worth 5 points. You're going to photograph it and attach it into this assignment portal right here. And you're also going to be showing on the model 3 processes, so diffusion, and then osmosis, the movement of water through the membrane, and active transport, all using, little items that you find at home. After you've completed these activities, you are ready to enter your comments into this week's discussion board, which is on tonicity, which relates to hyper, hypo, and isotonic solutions. So it's really the concentration of water versus concentration of solute dissolved in water is what we're talking about this week. So with this assignment, you are going to create a new thread in the discussion board forum, and you won't be able to see any other students' threads until you create yours. So you're going to answer these 3 questions right here. You're going to verify and comment on one of your peers' responses, keeping your constructive comments and your ideas objective instead of subjective. So that is due by Saturday. It's worth 4 points, and make sure to return to that discussion board after the due date so you can read what your peers had to say about your responses and how you define and explain how osmosis works and why it matters in plant and animal cells. Lastly, this week I've posted a set of analysis questions for you from Chapter 5, and so I embedded them right here as the Chapter 5 handout, and if you are unable to open this link, you can always scroll down to the bottom here and click on that hyperlink. So these are a series of kind of higher ordered thinking questions to get you to think a little bit deeper about the concepts relating to enzymatic action in Chapter 5. So this whole semester, we've really been building one chapter's information onto the next. So what you see here is that we're really preparing for next week's chapters. So once you have this basic understanding of cells and how they work, we're going to zoom in next week onto specific chloroplasts and specific mitochondria and talk about the chemical reactions that happen in those 2 organelles, which really allow all things to live, everything from plants and bacteria to protists and fungi and us. So that's all for this week's overview. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Have a great week.